Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, time for another live Wicked Horror Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by Tony Has Nine Fingers.
What is going on, people?
And Tony, would you like to introduce our very special guest, or welcome back our very special guest?
I think that James has been on the most, so we should get him like a little trophy or something,
Okay.
something.
Something or something, yes.
Something or something. But James Balsamo is back.
Welcome
How
back,
are you?
James.
Thank you guys for this amazing trophy for being on the show more than anybody else ever in the history of the show. Thank you for this.
Including most of the hosts.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
You've seen a lot come and go, a lot of the co-hosts come and go. So you've been here through many incarnations of the show. So,
yep.
Lucky you.
Continues.
But yeah, welcome back. We're talking Bite School 2, amongst other things. But yeah, Bite School 2. Checked it out today. Really enjoyed it. Picks up right from where the last one left off, and you even bring up I think it's funny during the movie. It went off the top like, "Hey, it's available on DVD. Go buy your copy now." For the first one, if you haven't seen it, this is the school from the first one. Yeah. So yeah, like how far apart was the filming, or did you just basically film two movies in a row, or how did that happen?
10 years in the making.
It was 10 years.
The first Bite School
you-
came out in 2015, which
What?
Kevin, you're in. Unfortunately, Tony, we got to get you in Bite School 3.
No.
So 10
Nope.
years ago.
Yeah.
That's how long we go back, a decade.
10 years ago. Jesus Christ.
I know, it flies, right?
It doesn't even seem like it.
time.
Looks like Kevin froze a little bit.
Oh, Kevin's frozen.
Yeah,
He's frozen.
and it looks like it did the worst position too.
Yeah, that's all right. So, Tony, continue. Tell me how great.
Oh, he's back.
I don't know what's going on because it's so before you guys jumped on, it said that I lost internet, but I didn't because I was able to do everything else on my computer. It's just EVMux. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
That's not good considering my wife just keeps asking me, what's this bill that keeps coming through for $25 a month?
Yeah, that's weird because that was the first time I've ever seen, like, on anything, I've seen you freeze.
I know.
Usually it's like everybody else that freezes or something happens. That was the first time I've ever seen you, like,
Yeah.
and you had, like, that kind of face.
It's because you're so cool, Kevin. You froze.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly why.
Yep.
So now I got a question. With Bite
answer.
School, okay. Yeah, maybe not, who knows. But Bite School 2, 10 years down the line. Now, when you do sequels to your movies, is there a list of which one you want to do first? Almost like an Adam Sandler thing where instead of doing like a Billy Madison 2, he decided to do a Happy Gilmore 2 before that. Is there a list, or it's just like, okay, I feel like doing, Bite School 2 or whatever, like, because you did Cool as Hell 2 and stuff like that. So it's like, do you pick and choose? Do you have a list of, okay, I want to revisit this one, or how does that work?
I really like sequeling and, all of my films. I'm actually doing I Spill Your Guts 2 as we speak. So, Killer Waves 2 should be out soon. And Bite School 2 was supposed to be out a few years ago. It mutated into From Dusk Till Bong, which is available now wherever movies are sold, Walmart and on streaming on Amazon Prime. And so Bite School 2 was supposed to be From Dusk Till Bong, and then it kind of became its own project, and then I sat on it for a little while, made several other 1,000 films, and now Bite School 2 is out. So
Nice.
Yeah. And you got some I mean, obviously you have since the last one, I mean, since the even I guess 10 years, I mean, you obviously have like different people working with you now. Um so I mean, some familiar. That's not a word. Familiar faces
mm,
from the last like bunch of movies. Some
mhm.
familiar names for sure, but there's also people that we have been like over and over again. Um, kind of local to us that always get involved in your movies,
uh,
which is always awesome to see. But but yeah, so like how many like I mean I don't know what the question is. How many people from the old one were involved? Because that's going to be a hard answer to come up with. I'm sure because there's a lot of people that are involved in this movie.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, which is weird. So Paul Fears, who is my co-star from the first Bite School, reprises his role in this, and so I moved to Los Angeles 8 years ago, and Paul and I are both from New York, and then Paul moved to Los Angeles shortly after I did, and he moved in coincidentally only a few blocks away from me. I mean, when you think about that, moving across the country to somebody you've done like he didn't do that on purpose.
Right.
Like the universe just brought him just close enough so he could come back and reprise his role. And so, I'm excited about that. I love working with Paul. And it was crazy. That's why I put that in the opening of the movie. Like, can you believe it's been 10 years? Like, a decade's a long time. So,
Yeah, a lot of things changes and stuff, and we were talking beforehand. The little head, well, not little head, but big head behind you and stuff.
yeah.
Are you using the same like special effects company and stuff, or is that different
No,
from?
so I did some of the effects for myself, and then Steve Singlebound and Church Haley did the first Bite School, and then Joe Castro, who plays Robot Dracula in Bite School 2 and was also a producer on the project, did almost all of the special effects. I did like a few things here and there, but just like I did in the first one, I dabble in special effects. I like to wear a lot of hats, so.
Yeah. Well, the special effects were pretty great, and
Oh, Joe
Robot,
Castro was brilliant. He made Spat and the giant bat behind me, and he even made this rock monster that's in the opening. So, I
nice.
love Joe, and he does beautiful work.
I really like every time Robot Dracula was on screen, like when he was in the costume. I'm just like, I want to make one. Like, it looked awesome, but it also looked like something that I could make at the
Yeah.
same time too. Like if I tried hard enough.
Yeah, I love that about films. I mean, people have been saying that about, the kinds of movies I make for years. It's like the kind of film you would get your buddies in a six pack and, throw it together over the weekend. And it's more or less what I do for the last 20 years. You know what I mean? I make movies with my friends and, you know what I mean? I talk about it with my friends on shows like this because you
Yeah,
guys are my friends. I mean, 10 years is a long time. You know what I mean? To be
yeah,
doing something. So I love it. I love playing with rubber monsters and, you know, fake blood and all that stuff. So, of
and naked ladies. Don't forget, there's naked ladies in the movie.
course.
Um,
Of course.
so, but I noticed that it seems like it's you're gearing more towards story, and it's less and less of just hey, random naked lady, random naked lady, random naked lady. So I respect that a lot. Like I'm
Yeah.
seeing the progression of James Balsamo as well.
Well,
You
thank
know,
you.
yeah. Nothing wrong with the previous movies, but I'm just saying like it's I like to see progress.
Thank
You
you.
know.
I appreciate it. The wheel it turns, as they say.
Yeah. And the movies, in my opinion, I think just keep getting better and better.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, But so I was, I was pleased with this one for sure.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
He gave me a compliment. He exploded. That's
I was pleased with this one for sure. Yeah. Evie
And that
Mux,
was
you're killing me. You're killing me, Evie Mux.
why couldn't StreamYard just keep it to freaking their price the way it is and
Yeah, the
double?
one that we used to use doubled their prices when we like 1 month. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna double our prices.
bastards.
Sons of bitches.
And this was like the closest thing to it.
It's like
But
pretty much the same thing,
Yeah.
except for now, this is the first time I'm having this problem.
It's called like hot air yard.
Yeah. Just like hot breath is what
Yeah.
it's called. Hot breath. I don't even. What's another word for yard?
Or mist yard.
Hot coffee breath back deck. I
Yeah.
don't know.
now, since you've been doing it for so long, do you have people now wanting to jump into like a James? Like, are they talking to you and being like, "Hey, when am I getting your next feature?" type deal?
Yeah, it's really cool. You know what I mean? I've been signing autographs at conventions for the last 12 years. And so I'll bump into people that I'm a fan of, and then they recognize me through Facebook or social media or Instagram. And they're like, hey, I saw you're doing a new movie. And, when am I going to do it? Like, I bumped into Wednesday 13, who's in the first Bite School. And I was talking to Wednesday about, doing something. And I mentioned Robot Dracula, and he goes, yeah, I saw it. I'm like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, you're got a new album coming out and you're looking at my stuff. That's what's great about the internet, right? Like, everybody's on the same scroll. So if you get in the vortex, it's like, it doesn't matter if you're Bruce Stern or John Landis. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen something you've done. You made enough movies. It's like, me? Yeah, you're out there. You're doing it. So I always tell, young filmmakers and people that want to make movies, like, go out there and do it. I mean, that's how I started. Just do it. And then you never know who wants to play with you. Because that's what movies are. They're entertainment. Silly.
Yeah.
Hey, Wolfie. He's alive. Good to hear from you, buddy. I'm great. How you doing, Wolfie?
Oh, everybody.
Oh!
Why is it showing again? God damn you, EV.
I didn't even see it the first time, and then it finally popped up.
Well, I don't know.
It was just like an empty box. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell's coming? And then it popped up. Then it showed again.
It's one thing that I always enjoy seeing too is some of guests at some of these conventions that may not get like they're not in a ton of things, and I like to see them in things.
Yeah.
So like Robert Mukes was doing a lot for a minute, and then he wasn't doing as much, and now I'm seeing him pop up in more things. So whenever I see Robert Mukes on the screen, I'm always excited. So I was happy.
I love Robert. He's a cool dude to hang out with and drink a beer with, and he's a great actor, and he's so nice. I love working with. So if you make a movie, definitely get Robert. And we've been talking about doing like a whole Alien feature. My schedule's just kind of been crazy. I want to like take him to Vegas and do like a buddy Alien movie.
Oh, really?
Like last year. So Robert's like, I'm in, and I'm like, I just got to find the time to do it. So if anybody out there wants to make a Alien movie with me and Robert Mukes, hit me up.
Fund it. Yeah. But yeah, he's a very nice guy. Like we had him on the show, and then I ended up hanging out with him at a con in New York years ago, and he made a big impression on me. It was just like how nice of a guy he is, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I want to see everything just work out for this dude. Like he's a good dad. He's like a good actor. Like he wants to do what's best for like everything. And like, I remember him and Tony Todd sitting there, and he was like, Tony Todd was trying to psych him up because he had an audition after the convention, and he was like trying to psych him up on it and everything. And I'm like, man, this is like just seeing the behind the scenes kind of stuff. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was sick. But yeah, I was psyched to see him in it. And hopefully I'll see him at a con again soon, because it'd be good to see him again.
It's always great to hang with Robert.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, then you started the movie off with a bang, with some Lamb of God. So that was one thing too. So the link you sent me out at first, I was like, "Is this a production copy or something?" Because it took, was it 16 minutes before you announced the name of the movie?
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I'm watching this movie." That's like, so was that on purpose?
Uh, yeah, it's all on purpose. I mean, honestly, this is one of the few films I haven't edited myself. Michael J. Epstein, who plays Reynolds in the movie, cut the film, and I think he did a brilliant job. Um, I mean, honestly, I thought he cut it perfectly. So I
Yeah.
don't usually entrust my madness to other people, but Michael J. Epstein speaks the same crazy film language that I do, and
Hmm.
so he got it, and he did an amazing job. And it was weird to see somebody else cut something. So like, we only had like maybe I think it was 3 re-edits. You know what I mean? And it was all really slight, minute stuff, but it came out great. I love it. It's like
Yeah.
I love talking about it. Bicycle 2 is out now. Go get it. What are you waiting for? Go to Walmart. Get your copy.
Now, speaking of, since you have so many hats and you like to do everything, do you let? I mean, you're full of puns and everything. Do you like people let people like ad lib their stuff? Like, if
I do.
a scene comes and they're like, "Okay, can I try this or whatever?" Like, are you
Yeah,
against it?
so the way that I work is I have the idea in my head of where I want the scene to go, and I give people a jump off point. I'm like, okay, you're gonna be eaten by Robot Dracula. Say something like this, make it your own, and let's try one. And action. And you know what I mean? I'm always pleasantly surprised. Like the people that I work with, they come up with things that I wouldn't think of because everybody's got their own imagination and their own character traits and what they like and what they like to say and how they want to be portrayed in a movie. And so I'm like, yeah, do that. And then if there's like an element I love in there, I'm like, oh, focus on this. You know what I mean? So I think like the being bitten by giraffes thing. That was great. That was an ad lib by Amanda. She
That
was
was pretty funny. Like at first, like she said it, and then you put in the little like AI generated thing. I was just like, I was wondering. I was like, yeah.
torturing
I was
girl.
wondering. I'm like, did they have the AI thing first, or was it the line first? Because I thought that
It
was.
was the line and then the AI. So, but
I
that's what
thought,
I'm saying about great ad libs coming from these actors. You know what I mean? Like, I never would have thought about like what giraffes biting you. And then I like even talked to Joe Castro about like, do we have time to make a
fake
giraffe
giraffe.
puppet? I love
Yeah.
that so much. Like a vampire giraffe in the jungle. I'm like, that's a whole nother movie. Let's do
Yeah.
that. like,
And
like
then later on in that scene, who was the guy that was playing like the head of those two girls?
oh, Dylan.
And he was just like
Yeah.
when one of them was no longer with us, and he was just like, "Oh, that she was my favorite." The other one, like, and he just started like kind of bashing the other one, and I'm
Yeah,
like
Dylan Greenberg is so funny. He just did his own movie, Spirit Riser, that's out now. So
oh yeah,
did a screening of that a few months ago, and so fun. I love Dylan.
nice,
I've known Dylan for a long time too. He's also in Cool as Hell 2, which is another sequel out now.
nice. So that would be the one thing, when you said that you're cool with people like ad libbing somewhat, or a good amount. Do you ever have the issue with people just trying to be funny, like too much, and it's just like, all right, it's not working. Like,
No, you
pump
know
the
what?
brakes a little
What
bit.
I think is great about filming these types of movies and working with digital, not film, is that it doesn't cost anything other than time to let somebody experiment. And so I might be tired on the day and I might not think it's funny because I'm got so many things going on, you know what I mean? I have to worry about the prop dummy not shooting out blood properly and then they're doing something that I don't see in the moment. Like that's happened to me a lot. Like until I get in the editing room and I'm like, oh, you know what? That is funny. That does work. And if we cut it just a little short, it's like really funny and then bring it back. So like editing is really your best friend in any situation. And honestly, I find a cutaway or like a cat screaming like audio effect or like a broken glass. You know what I mean? Just something can like add a dry performance and make it hilarious. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like one of my favorite cuts in Bite School 2 is the lead singer of Rat, Stephen Piercy. Michael cut this like guitar like noise when he like looks at the camera, and like that killed me. Like I thought that's like one of my favorite silly sound effect editing moments in the whole like, that's a fun story. I was at a convention and Steven was there, and I said, only if somebody dresses up like a rat will I get Steven to do the cameo. And sure as enough, the next day, somebody coincidentally was dressed up as a rat, and Bob East, who used to do all the box art for my covers, who's in the scene with me, was there, and he was like, "That's crazy! Like, what are the odds somebody actually dressed up like a rat?" Like, and so I was like, "All right, I'll do it." And so I asked the person that dressed as the rat, would they be interested in doing a cameo? And once they were locked in, I went to Steven and I said, listen, I said, only if somebody dressed up like a rat would I ask you. And they did. So would you do me the honor of being in this ridiculous movie? And he was like, sure. I was like, can you kill this rat for me? I got the singer of Rat to kill a rat.
Yeah.
A giant person dressed as a rat, and then Michael made this great cut where it's like, like that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't see that in the moment, you know what I mean? It was only because Michael added a silly sound effect that it'd sell it so well. So.
Nice.
So your stuff is more like fluid than like, because we've had other people on where it's like very like cutting like block and stuff. It sounds like yours kind of just like float, like it's not like.
Oh yeah, I'm like Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, baby. Like go with the flow. You know what I mean? Be like water. You know what I mean? Just let it all come. It comes from the universe. The comedy, it's all right there. You know what I mean?
Is that like from the Troma universe where it's just like, cause some of that stuff too is like you look at it and you're like, I don't know if that was supposed to happen, but it went through, and like.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know what's going to come out, and I think that's where a lot of the magic comes from in these kind of free form, films. Is that they're comedy, and like the magic is in like where did that come from? You know, so
the best comedy, like it's the stuff that's absurd and like, huh? Like how did that just work out, and why is that hilarious? But it is.
Because a lot of the times I'm watching your stuff and it reminds me of like the old like the Kentucky Fried Movies or like the Amazon Women from the World, where it's like, it's like, okay, that scene doesn't go with that, but that was funny, and this is this, or like Hollywood Nights, where it's like this movie looked like it was just like put together like sideways type deal, but it works, and then at the end it's just like, oh, okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, and I was honored to get John Landis in 2 of my films because I love that style so much. I mean, I think people that know my work see it like Kentucky Fried Movie, and that's what I like. I have a short attention span, you know what I mean? So people always say like, oh, these films are kind of like vignettes, like stitched together. It's like, that's kind of how my brain is. I think, oh, this is funny. I want to watch, like, you know what I mean? Boom, funny, boom, you know what I mean? So
if you really think about some of the best comedies out there, like some of the best slapsticky comedies, it's pretty much the story is just there to get you to the next bit anyways.
Right.
Look at like Naked Gun, look at Airplane, look at even like I just watched Top Secret again the other day.
Yeah.
Like it's just all right, there's a little bit of a story.
Val Kilmer.
I know, a little bit of a story to get you to the cows wearing army boots, and then like the dude with the giant whatchamacallit, giant eyeball, and everything's backwards, like whatever. Like it's I don't know. Like,
well, yeah, that's like my favorite director is Mel Brooks, and that was a lot of his movies were just like bit. It worked. It was a little bit more cohesive,
right?
But
a lot of it was like small bit. It was like little like 5 minute bits with like.
You got to find a reason to tell your joke. You got to find a reason to tell that joke.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time too, a lot of his was just like, was that was that a joke? I had to think a little bit, and then I started laughing. It's like it was.
There's
So
a
yeah,
there's a lot of actually that's one thing. So Tony, we brought up the last time we had a show like about how I got you the Killer Clown thing,
yeah.
the Lego thing. They have a bunch of Spaceballs Lego stuff on Temu,
Hmm.
and I'm just sitting there being like, that's cool and all, but it's also like that movie's also. I mean, it's I'm completely fine with it, but it's just like some other Mel Brooks movies. It doesn't age well.
Well, at that point in
Some
time,
bits-
you look at some of it, and it's just like, well, bye.
He made his point.
But
He
yeah,
left. Don't argue with me, Tony. I'm leaving. That's
Mel Brooks heard him, and he's like, turn this guy off.
right.
But yeah, like a lot of his stuff. I mean, you look at Blazing Saddles. It was like a play on racism,
yeah,
but it was like fighting against racism.
yeah.
But people would look at it and be like, "Oh man, this movie kid, he's making fun of black people." It's like, no, it's the opposite. He's making fun
I
of how
know,
stupid it is.
but some people
To
still like
well, that's
even.
because nobody
I don't
can
know what
joke.
happened when I lost connection again. Sons of bitches.
I said that Mel Brooks heard you when he turned you off.
Oh, but like in Spaceballs when they're combing the desert and it goes to the
Oh, I
they
love
have
that
to pick, and
is
he's like, "We ain't found shit." Like
that's so you're fine with the freaking.
the
Probably
John
last
Knoxville
week.
pick. Yeah.
Yeah, last week we were talking about that, and it's so funny. I'm
Um.
surrounded by assholes.
So yeah, Sergio is in the chat saying what's up. He's asking for a trailer. I couldn't find a trailer for Bite School 2.
There's no trailer.
There is no trailer. You just have to go buy it for yourself.
Yeah.
And trust me, you'll like it.
Yep.
So, what was the one movie you said? You tell young up and coming directors or whatever to just take the helms and make something. What was that? Was there one specific movie that you looked at when you were younger and you're like, man, this makes me wanna do it, or like a couple movies or something that you finally said, hey, let's just do this.
Yeah, well, the movie for me was Psychos in Love, and that was with the late Carmen Capobianco, who I loved.
Mhm.
Carmen was family to me, and so that was the film. I had told Carmen when I reached out to him after I made my first movie, Hack Job, I said, Psychos in Love inspired me to like make my first feature. I'm doing my second feature. I'd love to have you in it. And then Carmen and I were friends, till the bitter end. So I always tell people, just go for it. You know what I mean? Like, you never know what's going to inspire you. So, just live, make movies.
When they re-released Psychos in Love on Blu-
Oh, he's gone.
Mm.
I was saying,
There he is.
when they released the re-released Psychos in Love on Blu-ray, I bought a copy of it because you spoke so highly of it, and
Yeah.
plus Carmine was the man. Like I got to like know him a little bit, like through the conventions and through the show and everything. He came out a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a really fun movie, and yeah, it's cool that you got to do that. Like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of people who've made like really cool movies back in the day that let people like, oh, you wouldn't even care about this, whatever. But like there's something to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a movie fan first, and I love the obscure, and I love cult classics, for lack of a better terminology, and like hidden gems. You know what I mean? Like, that's my passion, is finding weird, low budget movies, and I love when somebody's family member is in the movie, and then they're like reluctantly doing dialogue, or they're dying, and they're like, oh no, because their nephew is the director, and then it's like a 60-year-old man who's got like a blood tube that you could see.
Yeah.
Like, that is movie magic to me. Like, that is the treasure of cinema. You know what I mean? Because they're like home movies, and they're treasure troves of time capsules with people wearing stuff that was popular in like the late 70s and the early 80s, and you're like, oh my god, look at that paisley suit. You know what I mean? So that's the stuff that I love.
But that's the thing too. Like movies like that show the passion for the business.
Yeah.
Because nowadays you got yeah, people making it with a shoestring budget because movies take time to make. So it's one of those deals where if you're making a movie for a couple $1,000 or sometimes even a couple $100, like it just shows you that that's your passion, as opposed to these multi-million-dollar things where it's just like I'm going, like, it's weird. It's like we talk about going to work for a paycheck. A lot of these bigger names, that's their mentality, is like, I'm in this movie just for a paycheck, as opposed to the people that are like, I'm making this movie because I love the business. I love making films. I love putting stuff on camera. So it's one of those things where, sometimes you're watching it and you're like, it's a little tough to watch because it's like, okay, it's weird. But then, I mean, when I was before I did this podcast, my movie watching mind was a lot different. Like, I didn't realize what it takes. I thought I knew, but I had no idea. So now watching movies, I'm like, it's a lot more than I've ever done because I've never made anything. So it's one of those deals where it's just like, now I see the passion. You know, it might not look the greatest, it might not whatever, but I see the passion in it. So you talking about those rare gems where it's just like, this was definitely just shot on tape in someone's like garage or something like that. But hey, they did it. They took the time to write a plot or like a story and shot it. So
I don't know.
It's like a bit. He's got his finger on the button. He's
I
like,
think
before he talks, he shuts off the video. He's doing his shtick. But yeah, I couldn't agree, more with you. I think.
God damn it. Anyways, what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, like back in the day, because I'm a little bit older than Tony, we'd go rent movies and we would just look for the most obscure looking stuff, and we would find like the total schlock. Like that's how I grew up loving Trauma, but like finding movies like Gore Whore and like all these just like campy and just like poorly shot movies that they were completely serious about. It just like I don't know. You have to have a respect for it.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're putting their heart and soul into it, and it got out. Like someone's got it. I rented it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Peter Jackson's first couple movies. It's like Bad Taste,
Yeah.
Dead Alive, and Meet the Feebles.
Right.
It's just like, okay, these are definitely, it's like, oh, who directed these? The same guy who did the Lord of the Ring movies. It's like, oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's whenever, people ask me, because I do a whole bunch of stuff like movie recommendations and stuff on social media, and they're always like, "Oh man, it's just so everything's the same." I'm like, just go deep, dig deep into like the vault of horror, like the 70s and 80s stuff, and you're gonna find stuff. You'll find stuff that you probably think is batshit crazy, but then you might find some hidden gems where it's just like, you're watching, you're like, I would have never thought I liked this or something along those lines. So
Yeah, you might find something that's batshit crazy that you absolutely love.
Yeah.
like Freaked.
Or like movies like House, like
Right.
the
Japanese
Believe it or
one.
not.
what's that?
Believe it or not.
What do you mean? Believe it or not? What?
Believe it or not. I'm talking
well-
about House.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Oh, I was talking about the other house, the
Oh,
Japanese.
the Japanese House.
one.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one's
that one.
great. Um,
The piano scene is so good.
yeah, ting tang toom toom toom, and I still stand by my thoughts that there was some inspiration there for some Evil Dead.
Oh yeah.
There's got to be. There's got to like I haven't found it written anywhere, but there's got to be
Yeah.
because there's enough of the same kind of bits in, especially Evil Dead 2,
Yeah.
where I'm like, you had to have seen House a bunch. But that doesn't take anything away from it. It's still it's like, he saw an awesome movie. I mean, a guy turns into a pile of bananas. I always say it because it happened in the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You might find something that you'll absolutely you'll love that's insane that'll change your thought process on everything.
It's true.
You never know. And maybe
Now,
one of those movies is directed by James Balsamo. Who knows? Maybe it's Bicycle 2, available
That's
now.
Go get it. What are you waiting for?
now, since you've done a bunch of conventions and stuff, have you had your like Carmine moment where someone came up to you and said, "Hey, listen, I watched your movie and I decided to make something or
Yeah,
you know."
it's nice. Like that's a lot of the core of my fan base is young filmmakers, and they come up to me and they're like, "Wow, your movies are in Walmart. Like, how did you do it?" You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, I really love I Spill Your Guts" or whatever, and so it is weird because that's not why I started making movies to like, and then to think like, oh, your art is inspiring a younger generation is weird. You know what I mean? Because I'm just trying to do what I love and like homage to films that I loved. And so when somebody comes up and says that to me, it's weird to like know that I'm part of the cycle, and it's great. It's nice, but it's not my intention. So I'm always like, oh, think of the kids, and then it's like, well, you know what I mean? Like they'll watch it or they won't, and you know what I mean? Just do your thing. You know what I mean? So I think so many people are hyper focused on like, oh, are people gonna like this? Or I want people to like it. I just kind of make what I think is fun and silly, and I love the never ending story. So I really wanted to ride a giant bat monster, and I made it happen thanks to Joe Castro. So go out there, follow your passion, and have fun. You know what I mean? What's the thing people say? Like, we're ghosts in like a meat skeleton, like flying around a rock in outer space. It's like when you think about that, it's like, why do you care about anything like serious? Like, enjoy life. Like, go ahead, get turned into a giant pile of bananas. Be silly. Fight robot Dracula.
There was
Like,
John
what else
had
are you
bananas
doing?
in a dune buggy, if I'm not mistaken, which is extra cool.
Yeah.
So I would like to turn into that. If anyone wants to turn me into a giant pile of bananas in a dune buggy,
Done.
and let me know.
That means James has to do House 2.
Oh yeah.
A remake, a
Ooh.
reboot, Hasu or whatever it's called.
Dad's gonna love that.
I remember.
That'll go over well. Yeah, I'm sure no fans will be separated. I'm sure that the internet will be calm.
Yeah, very progressive about
Yes, yep. Okay, yes. You know what? Let's give it a shot. I'm sure that'll be the first comment that'll come out of someone's mouth.
it. Right.
Well, how many people actually know that movie?
A lot.
Yeah, it's getting popular. I mean, it's a cult
Criterion
classic.
release. It's a Criterion release.
Yeah,
I have that Criterion release.
Yeah.
The only reason I got it is because you kept talking about it, and you're like,
Yeah.
"This is
It's
just
insane.
batshit crazy." And then I watch it, I'm like, "I have no idea what's going on in this thing."
Yeah. Mr. Tony the Dead, I made him watch it, and he's like, "What the fuck did you make me watch?"
yeah.
So my wife thinks differently about you now. And I'm like, oh, you should.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It's a crazy one. That's the thing is I always go in being like it's a absolutely bonkers movie. You should totally watch it. It's great and it's bizarre. Um, but yeah, I would whatever. It is what it is. Just like James Balsamo's movies are what they are. They're fun. They're a good time. You should go buy them at Walmart.com.
Now, how many different volumes? Don't you have a bunch of like volumes in Walmart, like with like different movies on each volume or something?
I do. So I currently have over 560 film products out. So I've got two companies, Acidbath Productions, and my new company, Die Star Pictures, has a whole bunch of movies. The Night Knifer just came out. That's a fun slasher film, as well as Gimp Pimp and the Saxophone Samurai. And that stars Ken May as Gimp Pimp and G. Larry Butler as the Saxophone Samurai. And Joe Estevez plays a mad scientist from the fourth dimension. So
You got him so excited, he's
I
checking
got
it
so
out
scared. I got so scared. I heard
Scared?
Joe Estevez.
Yeah.
He haunts
Now,
my dreams. Just
now,
kidding.
do you type this thing into like that AI generator, and you're like, or do you just come up with the stuff in your head?
So I come up with the concepts from my brain, but
Okay.
which is a scary place. But I have been using a lot of AI art. Jeff Zorno does a lot of my covers still, but I've been making so many films. AI has kind of been my new friend with coming up with wacky stuff, and it's so weird that you can like put in a photo like from on set of like the character, and then AI instantly gives you a thing as well as music. Now there's a program that like writes a whole song, like a theme song, in 15 seconds. It's scary. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
mixed well, and it's frightening. It's frightening, but
In case you're wondering, Tony, the pile of buttholes that was in the movie, that was AI generated.
that was AI generated. Yeah.
I would.
Although I did talk to Joe Castro about making a butthole monster, we
Oh
just
no!
didn't have the time to put it together.
Well,
So
I think that should be a bad guy in a future movie.
oh yeah, we definitely talked
Practical
about
butthole monster.
bringing the butthole monster into something.
As it rolls, it's just like
Yeah.
I'm waiting for like Power Ranger esque type movie where it's just like all your different like monsters combine, like they all come together in like its own universe,
Mm.
and there's a group of people that come together like the Power Rangers and have to
but
fight them off.
no, but I'm thinking they like do that, but it's a butthole monster, a penis monster, a
Mm.
vagina monster, a boob monster, and they all form together.
Oh, okay, like a Voltron.
Yeah, like they're the Voltron
Yeah,
monster.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be fun. I just want to see them all join together.
yeah, yeah. I like
That'll
that.
be an interesting mix,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of
Maybe
like
15 minutes.
Society at the end, a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
a big shunting action. Talking about batshit crazy movies.
Oh,
The
yeah.
last
Brian Hughes is in a few of my films. He's in Robot Dracula and Slice, which is out now. The golf slasher movie with the bogey man, and I did two of those. Slice 1 and 2 are out. That's the movie where I killed the guitar player from The Doors, Robbie Krieger, with a door.
Mm. What movie was it that you had the guys you went to Mr. Bungle's show and you got the
Oh, they're
guys
in Robot Dracula. Yeah, Mr. Bungle. So
they're in Robot Dracula?
yeah,
How did I miss it?
no,
that's fights.
Robot Dracula is its own
Oh.
film, and
Yeah,
then brought Robot Dracula to Bite School.
Oh, okay. That's where the disconnect is.
yeah.
Because I was like, when my friend Bill was being a little bit of a sea face about things, I was like, yeah, you want to complain about shit? Look who's in his movie. So shut up. And
Yeah.
then he's like, duh, 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 duh.
Now, with like some of the bigger names, because with the conventions, you get some cameos there. But like, what was it? Lita, what is it? Amy.
Yeah,
Uh,
Dumas.
yes. Do you like reach out to them, to their agents or something for that? Like that bigger, because she had a bigger role, and she's definitely for like wrestling fans, especially. It's like, oh look, it's Lita. Like, how do you how do you go about getting those?
Yeah, so I knew Lita's manager from doing conventions, and Gilbert was a great guy. He still is a great guy. He's still alive.
He was a great guy. He's no longer a great guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
And
he's
so,
still-
yeah, we got Lita to come down to set, and she was with us for a day, and we filmed with her, and it was her first horror movie ever, and that her first feature film. And then right after the movie came out, she came back to the WWE to wrestle. So she had worked with me, and then she was like, "Wrestling's easier than working with James Balsamo." I'll tell you that.
I'd rather take bumps that way
That's
than
right.
being.
I'd rather do backflips in the ring than do another movie with James Balsamo. But nevertheless, she was great. Really fun to work with. I was a big fan of Lita, so it was great to work with Amy, and she was really fun and had some really great ad libs herself. And we got to do some scenes together, and fun to work with.
Well, I'm
You know,
sure being in the wrestling business, having to cut promos all the time, it's just like you probably have to be like with it there, and then being able to probably do that way.
yeah, well, that's why I like working with pro wrestlers is that so many of them understand my style. It's like, okay, we're gonna roll, say something like this, and you've got 15 seconds of airtime, and go, and they get it. You know what I mean? Sometimes they get it in one take. So I like to do a little bit of coverage. I always say, get an extra shot for safety because sometimes the lens cap is still on, and then you're like, oh, well, it's a great radio promo.
Now that's the sequel is your shirt, right? She was
This
in
is
the
I Spill Your Guts 2, and
she
that
was in the first one, right?
no,
Amy?
she's in It Wants Blood.
Oh,
The
that's
sequel to
okay.
that is also coming out soon. That's got Weird Al and Coolio, the late Coolio, is in that also. So, yeah, it's the year of the sequel for me. So, Bite School 2's out. I Spill Your Guts 2 is coming soon. Then we got It Wants Blood 2, as well as Killer Waves 2. So, it's the year of the sequel for Acid Bath Productions.
Now, since you have now two different companies and stuff, and so many projects, I mean, you have 50 hats all the time. You're in pretty much everything you do. And now, since you let the editing go a little bit, do you think you're ever going to just step back and behind the camera and try that? Or are you always going to be written in your
So
own?
I've done that for a few films for Star Pictures, like The Night Knifer. I just directed it and edited it, and then the same with Gimp Pimp and the Sex Fun Samurai. I love acting, you know what I mean, but I also love filmmaking. I love, you know,
Mhm.
planning out the shots and the rule of thirds and having something close to the camera and middle and background. You know what I mean? So it's all art, and I like to play. You know what I mean? It's funny because people are like, "Oh, you're an artist." And it's like, I don't love that term. Like, I just like to play. You know what I mean? I like to live life and have fun. And why do we have to put labels on it, man? I'm not wearing a beret, and you know what I mean? Smoking a long cigarette, like, oh yes, I do the art. You know what I mean? Like I like to play with puppets and monsters, and you know, so
Stuff
filmmaking.
like everybody does, but you just film it type deal.
Yeah, exactly. And I think everybody's like a voyeur in their own right, right? That's what cinema is. We're like watching people have fun. And so, I love to have fun on camera and be silly, but I also like to like capture the moment and be like, okay, like people are like my live action figures. You know what I mean? I grew up playing with action figures and I still have a bunch of my own, like this Bougar action figure available at jamesbalsamo.com.
I have one back here somewhere. A
Yeah,
Bougar.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the good stuff. So yeah, I like to play and have fun and film and I do it all. It's all fun. It's all silly. You know what I mean?
When's the Robot Dracula action figure coming out?
Soon, hopefully. It's something I've had a few new action figures in the works. We made like toys for Alien Danger and Dead Mal, which is a post office monster movie that it's got Walter Jones in it, and Daniel Roebuck is in the movie, as well as Joe Estevez is in that too. And that's a movie I star in and fight monsters with. So that'll be out soon. And we made some toys for that also. So hopefully that'll all be out soon. Yeah, a lot of things in the works, a lot of movies out. I had 8 titles come out last week, including Bite School 2. So go to Walmart, type in my name, James Balsamo, or go to my website, jamesbalsamo.com, or diestarpictures.com and get the cool Die Star Pictures t-shirt.
Now the people behind Acid Bath are behind Die Star as well, or you work with like a different crew?
It's all a big rotating door. People come in, they go out. You know what I mean? And so I'm just trying to captain 2 of these ships sailing in the night. You know what I mean? Against a lot of upcoming filmmakers. So it's weird with Tubi and all these things and films being so easy to make because of digital cinema. I try not to get lost and just try to make weird films and do my own thing because there's a lot of other people able to make movies, which is great. You know what I mean? I mean, I've just been doing it a long time, so I think Acid Bath is kind of a mainstay in the sense of independent filmmaking. And I
Yeah.
try to get, A-list actors to try to like stand above the chaos and the noise of so many people being like, oh, what? Oh, cup massacre. It's a cup and it kills people. Now on Tubi, which is great. I love movies like that. I love to see stuff like that. I just like to be like, okay, I love Cup Massacre. What's going to make people watch Robot Dracula instead? It's like, oh, I know. I'll get Jeff Tremaine from co-creator of Jackass. And so it's like, you could watch Cup the Massacre with Steve's cousin in it, or you could watch Robot Dracula where John Landis and Malcolm McDowell pop up in it, and you're like, oh, I know those names, so maybe I'll watch James's movie instead.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that, speaking of seeing other people's movies, has there been anything recently that you've seen that has really like, wow, this was solid. It's really piqued me.
I loved The Substance. That's probably my most modern pick.
Mhm.
But I go to a lot of films at Beyond Fest. I try to go out and support the horror film community. Like Hard Eyes, I really like that. I saw the screening of that in LA. So I think horror's in a great state. You know what I mean? Practical effects are starting to really come back in full force, and the monster kids have kind of have their voices heard and say, we want puppets and we want creatures. You know what I mean? And so creatures are starting to come back, and then like the CGI stuff is there, but it's not as prevalent as it was in the mid 2000s, where it was like everything was like a bad blender creature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That when it walked, it like hovered because it wasn't on set. It was like, eh. And then it would swing at them like those sci-fi movies, and they're like, but they're great in their own way. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's all about taste and what do you like in the moment.
Yeah. I finally watched what is that? The Monkey. I finally watched The Monkey.
It was different than I expected it to be.
It was like people like, oh, it's really gory and it's really good and blah blah blah. But there was actually a little too much CG for me in it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun though. Definitely, I thought it was kind of like a kid's horror movie, which is nice because it'll inspire a future generation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I didn't dislike it, but it was that. I mean, I didn't love it, but I didn't dislike it. But yeah, that was my biggest take was like, oh yeah, it was if the stuff that they did with CG that they definitely could have done practical.
Sure.
There was nothing like extremely over the top that they couldn't have at least attempted to pull off practical.
Yeah, well, I always say a rubberhead will look great forever. It'll be a rubberhead forever. But the technology keeps growing so fast. I'll tell you what's scary is that AI video, because I get fooled for like maybe 4 seconds. I'm like, oh, what's wrong with that guy? And then I'm like, oh, he's a fish. Now that is AI. That's great.
Yes, I've seen some like the one. There's one page on Facebook where it's like, could you change this picture for me? Like eliminate this, and it used to be just photo editing.
Yeah.
Now they use like AI where it's like, could you throw my wife off the bridge? And they both like dive off of it, and I'm just like, what? How does it do this in like 5 seconds? Where it's just take a picture of this, and it like makes a whole story. It's just like that's weird.
There's an Instagram that I follow where it's just like extremely disturbing AI generated like videos, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna follow this because this is very impressive. It's like extremely like this is just like where's your mind? Like what did you type in for this? But I'm gonna follow every bit of it.
Yeah, it's fun.
But
Now
following every bit of it, it's about time to wrap up already, Tony.
But before, you speaking about how like horror is making a comeback and making its own right with the advent of a lot of indie films, maybe not a lot, but more than ever, getting into theaters. have you ever thought about getting an Acidbath production into like a weekend viewing or a weekend screening or something in a couple theaters and stuff?
Yeah, well, I've done some screenings at the Chinese theater, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, it's definitely something we talked about, and maybe Robot Dracula will have a theatrical run. Who knows?
Because it's one of those things where, being able to see it on the big screen is something I never
It's a
thought
different animal. Yeah, it's a different animal.
exact with like the Terrifier and like Scream Boat and Stream and stuff like that.
Even that
Getting
Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare, like that had a short theatrical run and stuff too. And I didn't get a chance to see it on the big screen, but I would have really liked to, because I that's another one that I recommend to people a lot as well.
Yeah.
But
because that's showing growth. I mean, when that first Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey that
yeah,
got shit on to like no end. Then the
yeah,
second one came out and they're like, okay, this one's better. And then I've heard nothing but really good things about the Peter Pan one, and it's getting like a get up like a special edition already from I think Umbrella's putting it out or something.
Nice.
But it's like okay,
yeah. But it's I don't know. It's I like that they're taking some risks with that stuff too. I mean, I don't know. They're pushing the limit as far as they can go with some of that stuff. But that's exciting. That's exciting for horror fans out there. I accidentally let my Shutter run out because I had to change my debit card, and I was like, oh crap! It unsubscribed.
Oh, he's
Speaking of unsubscribed, ha ha ha. No, it unsubscribed me. But so I was gonna sign back up for it last night, and then I realized I can get it for $1 cheaper if I sign up for AMC Plus, because it includes Shudder,
nice.
and it's only $6.99 a month as opposed to like $7.99 a month or whatever. But anyways, this little tip to save an extra buck, and plus you get all the other crap that you don't need from AMC.
And all
But
that.
So for if anyone wants to buy this movie,
Yep.
if you want to buy Bite School 2, Walmart's the place to go, or is there any other spots where they can go? Like, can you buy things
Wherever
like-
movies are sold. So Amazon, you know what I mean? FYE. Yeah, go to your major retailer or go to jamesbalsamo.com or diestarpictures.com and get some fun stuff. Get an action figure or a t-shirt, or follow me on Instagram at jamesbalsamo or Facebook. I want to be your friend. And if anybody wants to make a movie, I do a thing where if you put in half the budget, I put in the other half, and we split it across the board 50-50. So if anybody wants to make a movie out there, I've made a few. So let's do it.
I mean, 1 or 2 movies.
Yeah.
How many movies are you up to now, you think?
I don't know. 562 feature film products. So
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. That's a feat right there.
yeah, I wouldn't be able to even like think. I'm gonna say like I probably wouldn't even be able to keep up with like half of that because you said what 8 came out last week or this week?
Eight came out last week. So, and then I'll have another 14 come out this week. So,
Christ,
I'm trying to make a lot.
you're a busy guy.
Busy guy.
Busy
But I got time for you guys. So thanks.
Hey, that being said, so yeah, go follow James on all social media. Go buy his movies. Go check out his websites. And if he's at a con in your area, go meet the man. He's a pleasure. He's a great guy. And
Definitely
Yeah.
a salesman. I saw him in Jersey the one time. He recognized me, but just seeing him around people,
Oh, yeah.
it's like one of those. It's like a guest above because you have like I could say you're like the male version of like Felissa Rose because she's always saying everything and hugging people and stuff. You're like very. There's other guests that are just like until someone comes up to them, they don't say anything. But you're out there like making sure people know that you're there. So
yeah, you're like talking people into buying the movies and everything, and it's
a good thing.
It is. So Tony, where can people follow you?
You can find me at Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related. You'll find me there. I haven't made a video in years, but there is a backlog, so you can check that stuff out. Tony Has Nine Fingers on X, which I don't use, but it's in my shtick. Tony Has Nine Fingers on TikTok, which is my main focus now. Trying to get to 30,000 followers, almost there. I want to get there by my birthday, which is next Thursday.
Ooh.
So, so that's my goal. We're trying to push it. So follow me there. Tony Has Nine Figures on TikTok. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me, and of course here on the Wicked Horror Show most Tuesdays, whether we have awesome returning guests, aka James, who's been here the most, so we gave him a little trophy, or if we don't have guests, we just have horror movie chats.
Yes.
So,
Or yeah, if we don't have technical issues like me just randomly dropping out. But yeah, you can find me on
that's perfect
that's
timing.
timing right there. That is timing.
Talking about perfect
Yeah.
timing.
On Instagram, just a knuckle on Instagram. I'm also part of that Strange Show, which we haven't done an episode in a very long time, but hopefully we will soon. And we're still part of the Dorkening Podcast Network and Dead of Winter Entertainment. And before it cuts out on me again,
And by the way, if you don't watch us live, you would have never seen that perfect timing. You heard it. Well, technically heard it.
Yeah,
because he could have just you could have just stopped talking though. But if you saw it live, your camera cut out. So watch us.
Yeah, watch us on Tuesdays, or you're listening to us on Thursdays. But yeah, the audio will be up this Thursday. And thanks for watching/listening. And we will talk to you guys later. And hopefully this doesn't happen next week. Hooray! Bye.
Yay.
Give me a second. 1 sec, please.
And this is why, this is
Please
another
hold on.
reason too. It takes so
Please hold.
long.
Yes, yes, that.